Do not believe what these people tell you. Do not believe their assurances that it will be fair and equitable. Do not believe that it will have anything to do with saving the planet. It will not.
This is Callum Smiles, Rebel News, here on a rainy day in Oxford, covering a group called Not Our Future, who've arranged an outreach programme to try and raise awareness about a possible dystopian future facing us here in the United Kingdom and the entire Western world. Oxford is the city in the UK where County Council have voted in to trial a traffic filtering system starting next year. So I've come here to follow the group as they try raise awareness and drop off their leaflets, to ask them what they think and why they've come today. Do you mind if we ask why you've come here today?
Yeah. I just think it's very important that people are aware of what's going on in their communities. Residents that live in these communities and are going to be impacted by decisions that Oxford City Council are basically making without a democratic point of view from residents. Any council or government department that want to make people aware, they spend a lot in making those that are going to be impacted by something like this aware with information, with adverts. But this, I think personally, has been very low key. And I don't think the approach by Oxford City Council is correct.
Do you mind if we ask you for Rebel News why you've come here today?
Really, it's because this is the beginning of something bad. Well, it's the continuation of something bad. We had LTNs in London, in my area, and they just meant that it caused traffic everywhere because people having to drive distance around places instead of just going from A to B, they're going A via G to B. So I see this as a trial in this area to kind of experiment and to just force people into this way of behaving and way of living, and they're trying it here and it's bound to just go around the country. So I think we need to stop it before it gets any momentum here, and then hopefully it won't go anywhere else.
So Peter is one of the volunteers here helping with the organisation of this event. Peter, what has motivated you to come down here today and get involved?
Democracy and the rights of citizens to have a say in what happens in their communities.
And do you think today is going to have a big impact on the people of Oxford?
I think, well, it has to. There's not every day that everybody gets a leaflet through their door that challenges them, I think, to the reality of what's going on in their areas. Most people are busy. Most people have got busy lives, other things to do. We just hope that they might be able to take a moment out, read the leaflet and understand what their local councillors are doing allegedly in their health, security and prosperity interests.
The whole scheme of 15-minute cities isn't just here in the UK, it's everywhere. And so they're implementing this throughout the world, slowly, without telling the people the real motive behind it. The motive behind it is to basically tie down people to areas where they can go and not go. And later on, that will mean biometric tracking for all of us, like in China. This is something which has been planned a long time ago. The publicity in the UK is very, very, on mainstream media, you don't see anything about this. You don't see the motive behind it. They say, okay, it's for climate change and all that, but it isn't. That is not the real factor behind.
So as you can see behind me, this is a very well-worked operation. The queue is a couple hundred people long. Well over 100 people have already been and gone, as when they get to the front of this queue, they're handed a load of leaflets, they're given an area to go and drop them off, and hopefully this is going to wake the entire city of Oxford up to just what is going on in their own backyard. So can you explain to us a little bit more about this map you've got here?
Essentially what we've got is we've got the zones of Oxford, which if we take this lovely little wet map here, it tells you the different zones, and it's all broken down into the sheets, which then sectioned off into areas or whatever you want to call them, and then we'll allocate details to each of those areas, and then they go and take some leaflets. And
so you've actually managed to organise getting the entire catchment area of Oxford City Council?
Any credit for this whatsoever. That is all Mr. Fleming's doing. I've literally come this morning dead early, so I just said, look, tell me what to do, and I'll do it, and that's it.
Well, you deserve plenty of credit for getting involved and doing what you think's right.
Thank you, and I'm Sue from Rebels on Roundabouts in Stockport.
Thank you very much.
British people just need to be reminded that they pay for everything. They are the masters, and the people in the House of Commons and the House of Lords and councils throughout the country are the servants. And until the servants need to relearn their role. It's not their job to start bossing us around. It's not their job to do anti-democratic things like the zoning we see in Oxford. And they need to be reminded of who's in charge. And the people of this country are in charge. That's it. We pay for everything.
What would you say your biggest fear is regarding this?
So the 100 trips that they're now talking about that you're allowed to do in your own city, I remind you, will become 80 trips. It will then become 50 trips. It will then become 30 and 40. And in the end, you won't be allowed to leave your zone at all. So do not believe what these people tell you. Do not believe their assurances that it will be fair and equitable. Do not believe that it will have anything to do with saving the planet. It will not. It's designed to control, just as masks were designed to control. Just in the COVID thing was like an hors d'oeuvre. That's all it was. And you just have to join the dots. You know, you have Bill Gates, largest landowner in America. They're now encouraging people to eat bugs.
Philly, do you like the idea of eating bugs and living in a 15-minute city?
Right. I don't think we're actually designed to eat bugs, and so no, I'm not going to be eating bugs. And a 15-minute city. So I'm Philly J. Lay. I'm the author of the Natural Wellness Journal and the host of the podcast The Wellness Way with Philly J. Lay. And one of the things that I advocate very, very strongly from my healing journey, I'm a self-healer from a near-death medical procedure, is that we need to be in community. And if you put us in 15-minute cities, we can't be in communities. What does that mean if you are looking after your elderly mum and she's in one of those 15-minute sections and you're in another one, and maybe you've got kids at a school in your one and you don't want to uproot your children and take them away from their friends, and you don't want to put your mum in a care home? What does it mean if you want to use the little local shop that you've supported for years to buy, because they sell lovely organic food or something, and you can't get to that section of the city? And it's going to crush small businesses. It's going to crush family lives that can't stay in their segments. And basically, we're going into the f***ing Hunger Games, aren't we? So no, I'm not. That's why I'm here today in Oxfordshire in the freezing cold, going to leaflet, because this is not happening on my watch.
So I'm with Dave Carpin, the Reform candidate here in Oxfordshire. Dave, why are you here?
Well, I'm here because it's clearly wrong that people should be constrained in terms of where they can travel. We should have the right to travel without let nor hindrance. We should be free to travel within our borders and to foreign countries. So within Oxfordshire, it seems ludicrous to me that you would be constrained your travel within a city.
So speaking to people here from Oxford, they're actually saying with these LTNs, or low traffic neighbourhoods, it's actually having the opposite desired effect. The county council is saying they're implementing it to reduce pollution, but they're saying it's actually causing more pollution, with many cars that what would be a quick journey are now sat on the road in idle, and the city is just full of pollution. So you're saying with all these LTNs, that they're actually causing more pollution, you know, with all these cars sitting idly?
Yeah, what they have done is they have sort of channeled all the cars. They have stopped pollution in 2 streets and caused more pollution on a sort of 2 miles long road, long, and it's spreading along both sides of the main Cowley Road where I live, That's what I get affected by personally.
How much longer are cars on Cowley Road now than what they used to be?
Well, I used to go across, to the end of the Cowley Road within 2-3 minutes. Now it's taking me 25 minutes, just get to the Ring Road. And when I get to Ring Road is not moving. So it's much open area around Ring Road, but still pollution just moves with the wind.
So we're now following Right Said Fred and the organiser, David Fleming, whilst they go and do a leaflet drop here in Oxford city centre. So why is it important to leaflet today?
Because I don't think people understand necessarily how undemocratic this is, the zoning of cities. So we're in Oxford today to leaflet. Ta-da! And it's just to explain the situation. Basically, for Oxfordshire County Council, this has gone through on 2,111 votes. Yes, driven by one guy, Pete Sudbury. Not very democratic, so we just think people should be informed. That's it.
Right. Let's get leafleting.
Yep.
How many? Hold on, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All through the top.
That's it.
Great.
Oh, there we go. That's just one. Whoops.
So Dave, it's been a very busy day. Lots of people have turned out to help. Are you happy with the turnout, and do you think it's been successful?
Yeah. I still don't know the numbers yet, but I think it was about 500. And it looks like we're going to leaflet the whole city. Some people have already said they're finished and they've done the whole lot, so that's great. And it's the weather held off. Thank God. We were very worried about it for a while, but it has been good. And it's been a success. So hopefully, the messages are out there now. Most homes in Oxford have this leaflet. They know the details, which they mightn't have known before. It's particularly the angle that we're coming from, in that it is part of a bigger thing. It's a thin end of a wedge of more control over it. Whereas a lot of people might think it's just inconvenience and bad for local business, but we want to just inform them that it's not just bad for local business and inconvenient. It's bad for their future, and the children's future.
Brilliant, great work, thank you very much. So despite being quite a rainy day here in Oxford, it's been quite full-on, energetic, and I was really surprised with the turnout that actually came out to leaflet drop across the entire city, which they've successfully done. So it gives me a bit of hope for the future that so many people actually do care about what's going on around us. And hopefully, on a day like this, it's brought to light to a lot more people exactly what's going on, because that's the main problem. A lot of people just don't know what's going on. But after today, hopefully they will do. This has been Callum Smiles, Rebel News, here in Oxford. If you value the work we do here at Rebel News UK, you can head over to ukreporters.co.uk to see all our other reports and help out wherever you can. Thanks very much.